All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so this video is my thoughts to you, okay, about voting, in particular, voting in America. All right, I've had enough. Okay, I've had enough. And this video stems from, in particular, I watched what is it was either 100 or 30. Yeah, I think it was 30 Republicans versus 30 Democrats. Okay, on Jubilee. I watched 14 minutes of that video and I immediately cut it off. Okay. You had one girl that was a Marxist, right? Self proclaimed Marxist, black woman at that. And I hate I have to do this. But this girl said a middle class tax cut wouldn't help her. And then in listing the reasons, said, because I wouldn't be able to financially, hear me out here. How would I put food on the table? Respectfully, very respectfully. Bitch, with the money that you're saving. Okay, straight like that. Then you had the black boy, and this is what really pisses me off here, and I'm dealing with black people here. You have the black boy on the Republican side that was arguing with this white boy, right? White dude, very well educated, bro. White dude, might I add, well educated. All right, and I'm trying to avoid using their names, but y'all can go to that video and y'all see what I'm talking about for 14 minutes. Like he was getting devoured a lot. He actually never responded to anything the Democratic man, because he was on the Republican side, the Democratic man was saying. They actually had no level of nuanced conversation. He could only parrot out the talking points in which he heard the Republican Party say. He's literally a parrot. He literally has lacks cognitive process. He can't form his own nuanced opinion about anything. He had nothing. He didn't even know the definition of Marxist, but wanted to call Kamala Harris a Marxist. Is what it is. This is my thing to you all. Okay, if you want to call Donald Trump a fascist, you better be able to define what a fascist is. If you want to call Kamala Harris a Marxist, you need to be able to define what that is. And that brings me to the point of my video. You should not vote because you are not educated. Not enough. You have not even attempted to formulate a nuanced opinion about anything. That's what matters here. Being able to formulate a thought on, like, have a nuanced take on anything. You don't have an original thought up here. Okay. They did I forget what it was. It was either 2/3 or 1/3 of people don't have like an inner dialogue in their head. I believe most of these people are people that don't have an inner dialogue in their head. And that's why they're that stupid, because there's nothing questioning what's coming out. There's nothing to resonate with. There's nothing to bounce off of. You don't even have like a filter within yourself. You don't ever question yourself. That is a problem. That is an absolute problem until the day that you actually stop being a filler character and become a protagonist or an antagonist. Someone that actually matters to the story. You need to just uninvest yourself. Uninvest yourself. Okay, uninvest yourself. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are against this, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this just straight up. There should be some level of preliminary test. I don't know what it is, but there needs to be one with rotating questions so we can make sure that the voting public is an actual educated voting public. Like we can't just be oh, here, you vote, you vote, you vote, and your vote matters as much as mine, and you're just dumb. You don't have any like articulable thoughts on anything. You don't have a nuanced opinion on anything. That's my problem. I need at least like, and I think this would be true. If everyone had a nuanced opinion, 70% of Americans would be independent. Thus, it would force Democrats and Republicans to go to the middle because everyone would have their own nuanced opinion instead of lollygagging into these big fucking groups and trying to make this big tent committee. Get rid of it. Get rid of the concept. Make these people actually have to articulate themselves, actually talk to you, actually meet you where you are. But now we're living on extremes because each party is in groups and we're further and further away from each other. We need to just all go independent, at least 70%. I can live with 30% and 15% being Republican and 50% being Democrat, and the rest, they got to fight for it. They got to fight for it. They got to come to the middle because this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. This election cycle and the things that people have been able to get away with and say is outlandish. The fact that the dumbest voices in the room are consistently elevated to high levels, like that Jubilee platform, some of those people should have never been platformed, including that young black boy and that black woman. They shouldn't have been platformed ever, 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 ever. And I'm just dealing with them. I mean, if I want to really get in my bag here, like there's an older white woman on there. She should never be platformed again. There's this other Hispanic guy. He was on one of the things. He can't articulate himself correctly. He shouldn't be platformed ever again. Like, and it's not even it's outside of just being able to articulate yourself correctly. You don't even have an understanding of what you're talking about. You don't even have the beginning of your own thought. Not even the beginning. Not even the beginning. Outside of saying I feel like, no, I think, and like really dive into what the actual idea is. Because if you can't articulate why you're against someone without using a talking point, there's a problem. There's a problem. I can perfectly articulate why I would never, ever in a million years vote for Donald Trump. I can perfectly articulate that. If you ask it, I'll give it to you. It's very simple reasoning. And it's my own. It's my own. You know, when you hear it from me, you know it's my thought. You know it's not a talking point. You know it's my thought. I can give you examples. I can give you events. I can give you all of this. And I can perfectly articulate myself. If you're voting for Kamala Harris and you cannot perfectly articulate why, that is a problem. You should go back to the drawing board and figure out why you want to vote, not why we are voting for her. No, why are you voting for her? That should be something articulable. That should be a motivating factor. That should be like that's why people are so uninvested in politics, because you're just dumb. You're just dumb. You don't have an actual opinion. That's why it's so uninteresting and unengaging unless you're just watching like the entertainment and the clips and the theatrics of it all. But when you actually have an actual dog in the fight, you actually have articulable thoughts and like different things that you want society to be, and you have a place that you want society to be for the next generation, like you can actually lay that out. That's a good reason. Okay. I'm trying my best not to make this video one way or the other, because I think people across the board, I'm just saying, there is. Okay, most of the American public, there's still a lot of Americans, adults that can't read, which is absurd to me. Most people can't like properly do math. Most people don't properly understand economics, and I was getting back like low-key back in arguments about tariffs. How do you not understand how tariffs work? How do you not understand like how pricing works for goods that you consume? Oh, that's because you're just a consumer. You'll pay whatever they tell you to pay. You have no like no desire to actually be in business. See, I understand these things because I want to be in business. But um that's neither here nor there. I'm just gonna ask you to try to do better. Um, yeah, that's it. That's all I got, man. Y'all have a good one. Yeah. More videos to come today, baby.